Okay, now that we're done with the warm up, it's time for me to just briefly explain about simple present forms. Now, there are other forms of verb tenses. Any one of you know? Other than simple. Let's start from present. That's right. That's right. Present continuous. And present perfect. Past perfect. Thank you. Future past continuous. That's very good. But right now, I'm going to focus on the simple forms first because, well, it's kind of the basic. So now, starting from present tense. What's the simple form of present tense? Of course, simple present tense. And any of you know how to form a simple present tense form? Mm-hmm. It's formed with verb plus s or es. For example, anyone? She works at the library. She worked plus s at the library. Subject plus verb plus ses object. Very good, very good. And when would you typically use this form? Mm-hmm. Anyone? That's correct. It's when something is regular, something is a pattern, when something is repeated and the action is repeated. Very good, very good. You guys are all on fire today. All the good answers. Very good. Now, moving on to the past tense, which is called simple past tense. Now, when would you typically use simple past tense? Of course, something when something happened in the past. And is it ongoing or is it concluded? Correct, it has concluded. It's no longer still affecting you right now in current present time. That's very good. Anyone knows how to formulate a simple past, sorry, simple past tense? Subject plus verb plus d or ed. That's very good. Very good. So, an example, I'll give you one example. He watched the movie with friends. That's one example. What else? They stayed at the mall. Very good. And then he worked till late at night. She studied till late at night. Thank you. Very good. Very good. Now, of course, when it comes to simple past, there's some tricky problems that you may come to encounter because English has these verbs that you would call as irregular verbs, in which they don't play by the rules. They don't just need to be stick with d or ed at the end of the verbs and then call it a past tense. Unfortunately, there are some naughty verbs, these irregular verbs I would like to call, just like run. What is the past tense, past form of run? Anyone? Anyone at all? Ran. Thank you. Run, ran. Then what else? Can anybody give me another example? Sing. That's a good example. Sing. And what is the past form of that? Sang. And then there's a verb one and a verb two is sang. Verb 1 is sing, and then verb 3, song. But we will not be using that just yet. We will not be using the verb 3 just yet. We'll stick to the verb 2. But it's vital that you know all the forms also. Okay, then. What else? Run, sing, eat. What's the verb 2 of eat? Come on, you know this. Ate. Thank you. And then, what's the verb 3? Eaten. Very good. Very good. There's also one more. Go. Verb 1 is go. What's the verb 2? Went. That's very good. And then, what's the verb 3? Is it still went? Yes, and that's one more tricky thing about these irregular verbs. Sometimes verb 1, 2, 3 are all different each, but sometimes there's just verb 1 and verb 2, and then verb 3 is the same as verb 2. It's the rules. I know, but that's why we're here. We're gonna tackle this together so that we're not gonna get lost along the way. So what else other than go? Anyone? Another example. Sleep. Sleep is a good example. Thank you. And what's the verb 2 of sleep? Slap. Thank you. And then verb 3? The same. So just as you can see here, there is quite literally no easy way to do this. There's no easy way of memorizing irregular verb. Just as you can see in your Edmodo, I've posted just a laundry list of irregular verbs, and the only way you can memorize them is just to read, and read. And that's okay, you know. Sometimes you just gotta take the hard way in life. And moving on, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, present, and then simple. Next is simple future tense. Thank you. And when would you typically use this form? When something is happening in the future, to show what happens in the future, what will happen in the future. And as what I just said, how do you form this? Will plus verb, or going to plus verb. What is the difference between these two? Will and going to. Can you just use it interchangeably? Or is there context to both? Good guess. Will is when you're about to do something immediately, right this instance. Okay, I'll take a note of that. I'll put it right here. Let's put a pin on that. And then going to is for when you plan on doing something in the future. That's very good. Both are the correct answer. Now, will, immediate use. How would you use it? How would you use it in a sentence? I will help you. Immediate, urgent. You're gonna do it right that second. I will help you. How about I'm going to? How about the I'm going to France next summer, which is next summer, still long way ahead, and you're planning it right now. You're gonna go to France in the future, in the long distant future. That's very good. You guys are getting the hang of this. I'm proud of you. You're doing great so far.